Hey folks, Paul Essery here, and I'm delighted today to be in the Zoom room with Scott Sharp from Leading Edge Only. Scott, I know you're a busy guy because we were just talking about all the stuff that you got keeping you occupied at the moment just before we came on. So thank you for taking some time out to come and have a chat with us. I think a lot of people are going to be interested to hear about what your business does, particularly if they're interested in supplying innovative products and services. So because it's that area we're focusing on. So I appreciate you taking some time to talk about it because I think quite a few people will be interested in this. So just to kind of kick things off for the folks that might be listening, I mean, to start with, tell us a bit about yourself and a bit about the business, and then we'll talk about the tech platform in a bit.
A bit about myself and the company and the platform. I'll explain why we started Leading Edge Only, Leo, as we call it.
Yeah.
Donkeys years ago, it feels like 1850. I wrote a formula that could predict human risk.
Right.
And I spent, I don't know, 10 years knocking on doors of the big corporates trying to sell it. And lots of the corporates bought it. But the question in my mind was, how the heck does an SME, an innovative company, tell the world they exist?
Yeah.
And because most of them don't have the budgets anyway. And at the same time, a major oil company said to me that they knew there were a couple of innovators in the world that had what they wanted. But the problem was they didn't know where the innovators were, and the innovators didn't know they were looking.
Yeah.
And that, plus a couple of other bits and pieces, sparked an idea that could you create a platform where innovators could tell the world they existed, and corporates could find innovations far quicker and at a far reduced cost than going to the major consultancies. And so it took years to build the platform, borrowing money, trying to do things. But we launched in 2018, and we're now the world's biggest innovation marketplace. It's a SaaS platform,
right,
used by over 100,000 innovators worldwide, and corporates in every continent. And that's what we've built, and we have a long way to go.
Yeah.
And there's other things we need to do, which I'm happy to share with you. But the whole focus is on innovators getting a free platform to tell the world they're there.
Yeah.
And for corporates to pay a nominal fee to connect those innovators.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's a great proposition because most of the innovation is in the SME world, but lots of big players want to access that, and it's a great platform for doing that. I mean, I think it's a great proposition. So tell us, I mean, tell us a bit about the technology, but more importantly, tell us why your platform enables people to do stuff that they couldn't have, or that they would have found very difficult to do previously. You just sort of talk us through that story.
Yeah, well, the platform is a SaaS platform. Don't ask me any tech questions because I was kicked out of the tech committee years ago.
Yeah.
I just go to the tech committee and say, I think it should do this, and they tell me whether we can do it or not.
Right.
But fundamentally, it's highly complex. It's like an iceberg, all the stuff ticking away underneath no one sees, like LinkedIn. You don't understand the complexity of that. But fundamentally, innovators for free can register on the platform and have their solution. And it doesn't have to be a technology. It could be a new approach. It could be a methodology. It could even just be expertise. So you could be an expert in graphene, but not necessarily have a technology. Because we have clients looking for both. So you can simply register on the platform, go on, explain what you do without giving away any trade secrets, and you've got free promotion. This applies to not only innovators, but universities as well. And we have a lot of other organizations use the platform to tell the world they exist. From the seekers side, which is normally the corporates,
yeah,
they just come to us to say, look, we're looking to extend the shelf life of food. We want to put that on your platform. And so how it works quite simply is they can add their challenge, as we call them, or need or a problem statement onto the platform. And they can go anonymized or use their logo. You get better results using your logo. And innovators can then respond to those challenges.
Right. And why is that? I mean, I can see, because I've worked in that world myself briefly, but why is that so much better? Just explain to people why that's so much better than the current situation for lots of people, because I'm not sure everyone would understand why that matters.
Okay, the current situation. Let's take it from the thing with double-sided platforms. You've got to look at both sides of the platform.
Yeah.
So, from the innovator's perspective, why is this better? Well, number one, innovators have 2 or 3 or 4 different options to in essence generate clients, which is what most of them are after.
Yeah.
The old way, or the way most of them go about it, is email, track or use LinkedIn. So I think a lot of them fail to realise is these corporates get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds a week.
Yeah.
Of companies trying to sell them things, and they just don't look at. They basically shred the things that are coming in, and they know for every 100 they get, there might be one golden nugget in there, but they don't have the manpower to go through 100 to find that 99 are a total waste of time.
Yeah.
And you've got to get the messaging right. You've got to get so much right, and a lot of innovators are not copywriters, and it's a real art. And I receive 50 sales messages a day, and it's delete. And the corporates get 100 times more than I get, and they just delete them. And there's stuff like trade fairs and things like that, and knocking on doors. Yeah, but it's a slow way of doing it. And so, from the innovator's perspective, it is extremely tough.
Yeah,
And
it's
you
an
hit
uphill struggle, isn't it? It's an
Yeah,
uphill
and I think the other issue a lot of SMEs struggle with is the amount of effort they put into creating a new solution, a new technology, is nothing compared to what they're going to put into sales and marketing.
Yeah.
For every day they spend on the tech, they've got to spend 5 days on sales and marketing to get that tech in front. And the world will not beat a path to your door.
No.
You know, you may have a better mousetrap, but you've still got to go out and sell that mousetrap. So what we're trying to do for the SMEs, the problem they face is give them a platform that actually allows them to tell the world they're there, and then to respond to the challenges. So if you imagine you want to get in front of a major oil company, the odds of you doing it is virtually zero.
Yeah.
But when a major oil company uses the platform, you've got an immediate connection straight to the guy who's looking to buy.
Yeah.
And that's the problem we're trying to solve for the innovators and the universities as well. If you take from the corporate perspective, our whole model is low cost, and so we're not trying to take budgets off other companies they may be working with. But how if you're a major corporation, how do you know there's not a guy in Brazil has what you want, or a guy in Australia just developed the latest solution? Because the problem the guy in Brazil has, the problem the guy in Australia has, the innovators, is they don't know this oil company is looking, and they don't know who to contact at the oil company. Therefore, the oil company miss out on the guy in Brazil, the guy in Australia. And so for the corporates, it gives them global coverage. So we now operate in 120 countries. So suddenly it opens up a lot more countries and a lot more innovators for them to look at. And the other key element is relevancy. What they don't want is hundreds of solutions where 90% of them are irrelevant.
Yeah.
So built into the platform is relevancy. Yeah. So the system says, look, of the 100 guys that responded, these are the 10 we think you should be looking at.
Yeah.
So it's a shortcut. It's a low cost shortcut way to see what's out there, and to find out there's nothing out there. You know, we've still not found how to convert water into wine, but knowing that is not out there helps.
Yeah.
And the problem we solve, therefore, the innovators connecting to the big corporates, and the corporates finding things that didn't know existed.
Yeah. So it cuts the amount of effort that's required and the amount of cost that is involved, doesn't it? So it makes it easier. Yeah. And I'm a great believer. If you want people to do things, make it easy for them. It seems to me that it's a great way of making it a lot easier and a lot effort intensive.
Yeah,
to do something which we all want to do. So it's a great. I think it's a great proposition.
It is, but the crucial the mission of the company is to make innovation accessible for everyone, not just the guys with the deep pockets.
Yeah.
What do you do if you're you're a small company with 500 employees on the Slough trading estate, and you're a supplier, and the company you supply to say, we expect you to make better nuts and bolts, be more innovative,
Yeah.
and you don't have an innovation department, where'd you go?
Yeah.
And our whole model is that any size of organization can use the platform and connect to the latest solutions that can help their business.
Yeah.
And that's what we're working to.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I think it's a great proposition. I mean, it can't have been easy to develop it, though. I mean, and I know you've been at it for a year or two. I mean, tell us about some of the challenges you've had to overcome to get to where you are.
Okay.
You're the world's largest now, aren't you?
Yeah. Number one. The real issue on day one, apart from borrowing money from the bank and not tell my wife, to build the first mock of the platform. I still don't think she knows now, actually. Is with double-sided platforms, you need them populated both sides. So you need it populated by the corporates, you need it populated by the innovators. So the number one biggest challenge prior to our launch back in 2018 was innovators wouldn't put the solutions on the platform because no one was looking.
Yeah.
And no one was looking because there's nothing on the platform.
Yeah.
So the biggest challenge was to beg and borrow innovations, to persuade innovators, look, guys, this is free.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to take, just half an hour of you filling in the form and adding some images, but it's free. And I just remember it took me 6 months to get 30 innovations on the platform.
Yeah.
And then I just went around to the corporate saying, we've got this, and really struggling because I said, we've only got 30 solutions.
Yeah.
And then I was sitting in this chair I'm sitting in now on a Friday evening. And I won't say who the company was, but it was one of the world's biggest tech companies. And I was sitting here 7:30 and the phone rang and I picked it up and it was a CEO of their European operations. And he said, we keep getting your messages and we understand what you do. We've looked at the platform and we want to give it a go.
Mm.
And he said, how much? And I remember saying it's £5,000. I think I semi-made the number up. So I said £5,000. And he said, well, we're not going to give you a penny because we think you need our name more than you need the money. And I said, no, actually, I need both. I need the money and I need your name.
Yeah.
And the CEO of this colossal company said, right, we'll give it a go. And they did. And that was our first ever client.
Yeah. And I guess once you get going, the ball just rolls faster, doesn't it?
Yeah, it rolls faster. It's still uphill all the way.
Yeah.
Just to let everyone out there know, it never gets any easier, guys. It's just as tough on year 5 as it was on day 1, but it's just different problems.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. What happens is, you start then getting a lot of inquiries. So you get BPs of this world, M&S's, Tesco's, Fujitsu's, when they see some people using it, obviously it reinforces that we've got something pretty special.
Yeah.
And so we now attract clients from around the world. So roughly 30% of our clients are from the Americas, 30% from Europe, and 30% Asia Pacific.
Yeah.
And they're either with us for 2 or 3 years on rolling programs, or they have one-off projects that take 3 months to do.
Yeah.
But the commonality of all of them is they're looking for solutions. And what's interesting, some of them know exactly what they're looking for, extending the shelf life of food. Others don't know what they're looking for. They just don't want to miss out on anything.
Yeah.
And it works really well just to know what's out there.
Yeah.
So we, on the platform itself, so we have over 100,000 innovators users. Around 30,000 make the solutions public. The other 70,000 in inverted commas hide them. They don't want to put their head above the parapet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they still can respond to all the challenges. But on the platform, there are 30,000 great ideas, great innovations, great technologies. And clients get access to all these 30,000. Yeah. And so for them, it's gold dust. But for those 30,000 innovators, it's gold dust as well, because suddenly a major corporation could be looking at you tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a much quicker and much easier route to market than otherwise, isn't it? And
Yeah, I think you're right. I can't think of many quicker routes to market
No.
for the massive innovators and guys out there trying to develop new solutions. And of course, they don't have to be ready for market, because a lot of guys have concepts. A lot of corporates are looking for concepts.
Yeah.
So, we have clients just saying, look, we don't want ready for market. We want brand new ideas. We want to work with innovators of coming up with new things. And we do that as well.
Yeah,
And
no,
you just,
fantastic.
yeah.
And this, I've got one more question that I'd like to ask you, and I've been waiting to ask this question because it's you're the first person that I've met that is the world's number one. All the other people I've spoken to about this have not yet been at the number one spot. So I wanted to ask you this question about, what is it that you want to achieve? Because you're already at number one. I mean, most of the people I talk to, they're not anywhere near that, but they want to be number one or a variation on that theme. But you're actually already there. So one of the things that I'm interested in is what happens next. I mean, what's your kind of plan going forward? What's it you want to achieve? What are your ambitions going forward, given that you're already at number one?
We're at number one, and our client base for major corps. Where we want to get to is helping all the mid-sized companies as well. That's where we want to get to, and that's going to take a lot of work.
Yeah.
The clients we work for are terrific, absolutely superb.
Yeah.
But I go back to the argument: what do you do if a corporate is saying to you as a supplier, we want more an innovative solution? I mean, for example, it could be a company that it could be a major supermarket that is selling sandwiches, and they turn around to the supplier and say, we want less plastic wrapping. We want different wrapping. We want some more sustainable wrapping. What do you do if you're a small company in that position? Where do you find the solution?
Yeah.
And so where we want to get to is that anyone on the planet can access this platform and find innovation, and anyone on the planet can promote the solutions on the platform. Yeah. That's where we want to get to.
Yeah.
And it's a tough job, but that's the vision.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's fantastic, and I mean, good luck becoming number one plus. I mean, I think it's a great, it's a great proposition, and I mean, come back in a year or two and let us know how you've got on, because I think it's an interesting, it's a really interesting development that you're engaged in, and very, very worthwhile. And I mean, I'm biased because I've worked in that world, and I see that as a really important component of business, because business is constantly evolving. So your big businesses are constantly needing help with stuff, and I mean, small businesses need help with stuff. So it's a great way to make that easier. So I think it's a great proposition. So
there's some really good solutions out there. Some really good and technologies out there that have been developed.
Yeah.
And getting those guys in front of the corporates, and the corporates know they exist, is really paramount to what we do.
Yeah, and very rewarding, I suspect, when it comes off.
It really is. When the client says, "Look, we found 3 things we didn't know existed," and we're going to work, and we're going to engage with all those 3 innovators, because our pricing model, we take no commissions or anything like that. One of our clients said, "With the world's biggest innovation dating agency," and that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
It's
a lovely way to put it, actually. It's a really nice way to put it, isn't it?
Yeah. It's pretty accurate.
Yeah. Well, Scott, thanks for telling us the story. Thanks for taking a bit of time out to share that, and good luck going forward. And like I said, come back in a year or two and let us know how you've got on.
Cheers, Paul. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Cheers. No worries. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.